lovely students. We thank Almighty God for us meeting once again. We are going to look at economics. This is our economics lesson 3. Economics lesson 3. Now we are going to talk about returns to scale or long-run production. Returns to scale or long-run production. Returns to scale can be defined as the degree of responsiveness or the proportionate change in output resulting from a proportionate change in scale, both capital and labor. The corresponding changes in output as the scale of the firm is varied as classified under increasing returns to scale, constant returns to scale, and diminishing returns to scale. Now let's look at 1. Increasing returns to scale. There is increasing returns to scale when a small proportionate increase in scale, both capital and labor, leads to a greater proportionate increase in output. If capital and labor are increased by 50%, output increases by 100%. The firm has more to revenue than cost. This is associated with the rising section of the long-run marginal product curve and the falling section of the long-run average cost curve. Now let's look at the diagram. Look at the graph very carefully and listen to the explanation. The firm is operating in the long run because capital and labor are variable. K varies from 4 to 6 to 8, and L varies from 2 to 3 to 4 units. 4 units of K are combined with 2 units of L to give us 100 units of output. When K and L are increased at the same time by 50%, K is said that 4 is to 6 and L is said that 2 is to 3. Output increases by a greater percentage, that is 100%, from 100 to 200 units. Again, when K and L are increased by 33%, K is said that 6 is to 8 and L is said that 3 is to 4. Output increases by a greater percentage, that is 50% from 200 to 300 units. Since the percentage increase in output is greater than the percentage increase in scale, the firm experiences increasing returns to scale. Now 2. Constant returns to scale. There is constant returns to scale when a certain percentage increase in scale leads to the same percentage increase in output. If capital and labor are increased by 100%, output increases by 100%. The firm has the same to revenue as to cost. This is associated with the topmost section of the long-run marginal product curve and the minimum section of the long-run average cost curve. Now look at the diagram, the graph. As I'm going to explain the graph drawn, look at it very well. The firm is operating in the long run because capital and labor are variable. K K, that's capital, varies from 4 to 8 to 12. And L, that's labor, varies from 2 to 4 to 6. 4 units of K are combined with 2 units of L to give us 100 units of output. K and L are increased by 100%. K is said that 4 is to 8 and L is said that 2 is to 4. And output increases by the same percentage, that is 100%, 100 to 200. Again, when K and L are increased by 50%, K is said that 8 is to 12 and L is said that 4 is to 6. Output rises by the same percentage, that is 50% from 200 to 300. Since the percentage increase in scale is equal to the percentage increase in output, the firm experiences constant returns to scale. 3. Diminishing returns to scale. There is diminishing returns to scale when a certain proportionate increase in scale leads to a smaller proportionate increase in output. If both capital and labor are increased by, say, 200%, output increases by 100%. The firm has more to cost than to revenue. This is associated with the falling section of the long-run marginal product curve and the rising section of the long-run average cost curve. Now look at the diagram. Let's explain the diagram. Listen very carefully. The firm is operating in the long run because both K and L are variable. As I always say, K varies from 4 to 10 to 20, and L varies from 2 to 6 to 12. 4 units of K are combined with 2 units of L to give us 100 units of output. K and L are increases by 150%. K is said that 4 is to 10 and L is said that 2 is to 6. And output increases by a smaller percentage, that is 100%, from 100 to 200 units. Again, when K and L is increased by 100%, K is said that 10 is to 20 and L is said that 6 is to 12. Output increases by a smaller percentage, that is 50%, from 200 to 300. Since the percentage increase in scale is greater than the percentage increase in output, the firm experiences diminishing returns to scale. Now let's look at some advantages and disadvantages of large-scale production. Growth in the size of the firm or long-run production is associated with some advantages and disadvantages. There are advantages of large-scale production, which are referred to as economies of scale. So advantages or economies of scale. They result in reduced long-run costs and increased revenue. That's 1. 2. Economies of scale are associated with the rising section of the long-run MP curve and the falling section of the long-run AC curve. Now, the disadvantages associated with large-scale production. They are also referred to as diseconomies of scale. These advantages derive from decreasing or diminishing returns to scale. They result in increased long-run costs and decreased revenues. These economies of scales are associated with the falling section of the long-run MP curve and the rising section of the long-run AC curve. We will end here. God willing, inshallah, tomorrow we will continue with our lesson. Kindly read on economies of scale. Economies of scale. And afterwards, these economies of scale. God willing, tomorrow we will talk about it and discuss about it. Thank you all. Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.